Another day, another chance to explore. Why is the tomato price so high in India today? History and origination of tomatoes. The tomato is the edible berry of the plant Solanum lycopersicum, commonly known as the tomato plant. The species originated in western South America, Mexico, and Central America. The Nahuatl word tomatal gave rise to the Spanish word tomate, from which the English word tomato derived. Its domestication and use as a cultivated food may have originated with the indigenous peoples of Mexico. The exact date of domestication is unknown. By 500 BC, it was already being cultivated in southern Mexico and probably other areas. The tomato arrived in India by the way of Portuguese explorers, in the 16th century. It was grown from the 18th century onwards for the British. Even today, in Bengal, the alternative name is bilati bagun, meaning foreign eggplant. It was then adopted widely as it is well suited to India's climate, with Uttarakhand as one of the main producers. The tomato fruit weighs about 70 to 150 grams on average, with a size of 50 to 70 millimeters in diameter. Because of their high nutritional value, tomatoes are one of the most significant crops. It is one of the most adaptable fruits, with a long history of use in Indian cuisine. Tomatoes are used in a variety of dishes including salad, ketchup, puree, sauces and other processed foods. Tomatoes have a higher content of antioxidants called lycopene, which prevents cancer. It also contains another antioxidant called carotene, which is known for its cancer prevention properties and gives a distinct red color to the fruit. Tomato is a fruit or vegetable. Botanically, a tomato is a fruit, a berry, consisting of the ovary, together with its seeds, of a flowering plant. However, the tomato is considered a culinary vegetable, because it has a much lower sugar content than culinary fruits. Because it is more savory than sweet, it is typically served as part of a salad or main course of a meal, rather than as a dessert. The confusion on whether tomatoes are fruits or vegetables has led to legal dispute in the United States. In 1887, U.S. tariff laws that imposed a duty on vegetables, but not on fruit, caused the tomato's status to become a matter of legal importance. In Nix v. Hedden, the U.S. Supreme Court settled the tariff controversy on May 10, 1893, by declaring that the tomato is a vegetable. Tomato varieties in India. There are about 1,000 varieties of tomato in India. China leads the tomato production in the world, followed by India and Turkey. The tomato season in India prevails throughout the year. The peak tomato season in India is mostly at the beginning and end of the year. There are more than 15,000 varieties of tomato in the world. There are more than 1,000 varieties of tomatoes cultivated in India. However, only a few are commercially available and others are consumed locally. Tomato production in India. Tomato is the third most important crop in India after potato and onion. India is the second largest producer of tomatoes in the world. Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Odisha, West Bengal, Bihar, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, and Himachal Pradesh are the major tomato-producing states in India. These states account for about 90% of total tomato production in the country. Andhra Pradesh contributes to 20% of total tomato production in India. Madhya Pradesh is the second largest producer of tomatoes and contributes to 12% of total production. Karnataka is the third largest producer and contributes to 10% of total tomato production in India, followed by Gujarat, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu. Tomato season in India. Tomatoes require a warm environment to thrive. In India, they are often planted in March and April and harvested in late summer. The tomato season in India almost exists throughout the year due to the increasing demand for tomatoes in the market. By 70 days after transplantation, the plants begin to yield. Harvesting is done for a variety of purposes that include fresh market and processing industries. The tomatoes turn crimson red when they ripe, but those with firm flesh are used for fresh markets. Depending on the type and season, the yield per hectare varies substantially. The yield varies between 20 to 25 t per hectare on average. Hybrid varieties of tomatoes can produce 40 to 50 tons per hectare. The peak season of tomatoes in India is from January to February and November to December. It is planted as an irrigation crop when grown in hot weather. From August to September the winter crop is sown. The tomato winter harvest is good for organic farming. Rising prices. Why India is in tomato trouble. Economists often attribute the problem to a simple supply and demand issue, but there may be more underlying factors. Firstly, this year's erratic climate trends, including untimely rainfall and cyclonic storms, have disrupted tomato production in southern and coastal areas. These regions typically supply a significant portion of India's tomatoes during this time of year, but the excessive rain has wreaked havoc. Tomato plants do not thrive in waterlogged conditions during the flowering and fruiting stages. Excessive water has disrupted pollination and caused significant yield losses. Reports indicate that tomato prices have jumped 445%, surpassing the cost of petrol. McDonald's also announced the removal of tomatoes from their burgers due to the skyrocketing prices. As many of our pockets bleed, paying 120 rupees, 150, and in some parts 250 rupees for 1 kilogram of tomatoes, one must question what is wrong with Indian agriculture. It wasn't long ago when farmers from across the country resorted to throwing tomatoes and other vegetables on the roads and fields. Tractor loads and truckloads of healthy tomatoes were destroyed in protest, as market economics failed them once again. The erratic climate has become a real litmus test for the top tomato, potato, onion program. At this stage, the bureaucracy responsible for this mission needs to answer to the government. Why has the scheme failed? It has been over 2 years, so where are the results? If there are failures and gaps, how can they be corrected? This bureaucratic blunder may lead to electoral damage, especially when tomato and onion prices are at stake. Solution on how to overcome such troubles. Agriculture is not an industry and therefore requires special contingency plans and safeguards because it largely depends on nature. However, that does not mean we should not prepare plans to cope with erratic weather or plant diseases as a nation. Firstly, the government needs to assess its top scheme and identify why Operation Greens has failed and what lessons can be learned from this scheme. Multi-stakeholder meetings should be conducted at the village level, involving farmers, farmer-producer organizations, FPOs, mandis, wholesale markets, traders, and freighters. Efficient transportation systems should also be included as a key aspect of the discussions. Farmers should be encouraged to utilize drying facilities to extend the shelf life of their harvests. Reviving the tradition of using dried vegetables in off-season months can benefit farmers, consumers, and reduce the energy footprint of tomato crops. At the micro level, the government should encourage direct market links between farmers and consumers. Residential welfare associations, RWAs, housing societies, clubs, and other organizations can partner with farmers to supply the yearly quotas of tomatoes, onions, and potatoes. This arrangement would benefit farmers by providing them with stable incomes while offering consumers healthier and more affordable food options. Direct markets combined with decentralized vegetable storage facilities can help combat hyperinflation and food insecurity in India. Let's hope for the prices to come down soon in India. Thanks.